Welcome to the Women's National League Rafter Series 27, the final series of the season. What an unbelievable season that it was. Delighted to be joined with Seana and Alanna once again. Thanks guys for coming on. It's been great to have you on for the course of the season. We'll start off obviously with Shelbourne. They're the WNL Champions for 2022. It was a thrilling game against Wexford in Ferrycarrig Park where they won 4-0. Jessie Stapleton, Alex Kavanagh, Megan Smith-Lynch and Abby Larkin getting the goals for them. Seana, what an achievement for Shells winning the title back to back. What were your overall thoughts on the game? You know, were they deserved WNL champions again?
Yeah, I don't think anybody can even question it in terms of how they performed against Wexford. It was just a phenomenal performance. Just very, very complete by the team. I thought the way they started, the way they set up tactically, they just got everything right. The deliveries into the box, the way they defended. I just felt like from the first whistle it was going to be their day. The goals were fantastic, and like I think you could have picked 11 player of the matches with how well everybody played there. But I do think a special mention has to go to two players in particular. I thought Leah Doyle was phenomenal at left back. She's grown throughout the season, but that game I just thought was her best this season. The second player I think needs a big shout out was Alex Kavanagh. I think that's been her best game in red. She was just fantastic. We all knew that she was technically gifted and she could play football and had the ability to play beautiful passes, but just her work rate, making tackles, getting back to help her defenders out, and then popping up in the box with a great header. I thought it was just excellent for Alex. But yeah, I think nobody could argue that it was Shells on the day.
Yeah, and look, it just wasn't Wexford's day at the end of the day, but I have to give a shout out to TG Carr. Their coverage for the game was absolutely phenomenal. I think there was 9 different cameras or something like that with the drone cameras as well. It was class. And congrats to Shelbourne again. I think back-to-back titles is class, especially from the season that they had. There was a little dip in the middle, but yeah, congrats to them. Big congrats. Moving on, Athlone Town, they beat Bohemians 2-1. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them to get the WNL title. But Alanna, this season for Athlone will no doubt be talked about for years to come. What do you think it was that made them so consistent throughout the season?
I think we've been saying it for a while now, Emma. They just kind of found a system that worked for them and implemented it every game. Like they have players that maybe wouldn't so much maybe get into like a Shell side or a Wexford or a Peamount even, but that as a unit they all kind of work together. And I think top that off then with outstanding players like they do have, Jessica Hennessy, Maren Devaney, Emily Corbett. They've had such standout performers all season, and getting all that to work together has just been testament to their rise. And I think next year now it'll be interesting because they'll have that bit of pressure and weight of expectation on them. So it'll just be interesting to see what they can do there. I don't know, maybe Tommy Hewitt will channel his inner Duffer or Marino and take into the little old Athlone again. I'm not sure it'll work though, because I think if anything this season, they showed us what they're made of, and next season they'll be looking to push on again.
Yeah, and moving on, I know they were out of the title race after the 3-3 draw at Wexford last week, but Peamount, they went out with a bang against Galway. It was 6-0 at Eamon Park. It wasn't the result that Galway would have wanted on their last game, the WNL, before merging with Galway United. But Peamount, they were just on top throughout the game. Alanna, did you have a favourite goal from that one?
I went with one of your favourites, I might say, Tara O'Hanlon. She basically creates the whole thing herself from the halfway line out of nothing. Dribbles, I counted past 5 players, one twos it before smashing it into the back of the net. So yeah, brilliant stuff. Definitely one to watch again for next season, because I kind of think we're starting to see the best for the last half of this season. But yeah, one to watch for next season, if not even for Vera Pauw much sooner than that.
Yeah. And a big congrats to Anya O'Gorman as well. She got the golden boot for like the 5th time or something, which is kind of insane. I think she finished with 22 goals. It was a close one at the end as well, because only last week they were both on 19, her and Emily Corbett. So a big congrats to Anya. Moving on now, Cork City, they beat Treaty United 3-0 to finish their season on a high. A lot of potential in that Cork side, obviously going into next season, but Seana, in terms of Treaty, what do you think they need to do heading into next season? You know, what should they be aiming for?
Obviously, I think it's going to take a big recruitment drive down around Munster, try and get some players in for next season. From what I've seen of them, they do have some talented players. The Mendes sisters, Cara Griffin as well, was very impressed with this season. They obviously had Ashley Meany in for a period as well, which was fantastic. But I think it's about just taking the time to kind of recruit. And for me, the big challenge for next season for them is just become hard to score against. You know, that's the first foundation of building a team, especially in this league, is just become hard to score against. So, you know, when you're playing against a team, just make sure that you're not giving away easy chances, and build on that. But look, there's a great football community down around Munster, and I really do hope that the community and people down there can get around the team and obviously turn up and make themselves available to play for Treaty, but also I think get out and support them week in, week out. Those girls have turned up every game this season, and it's been very difficult, and I think they deserve an awful lot of respect and credit for that.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, finally the last game, the Allure Waves, they beat Sligo Rovers 5-1. Kate Mooney with a hat-trick in 20 minutes. And you know, Alanna, it can't be understated how impressive she's been in the last few weeks for the Allure.
She's been class with them, Emma. Yeah, I think she finished on 12 goals overall for the season. But what was interesting as well, obviously Malone scored in that one too. She's finished just behind her on 11. So they're both right up there, I'd say, just a touch outside kind of the top list of the Golden Boot. But yeah, massive form for them. I guess DLR's problem all season was probably more so letting in the goals, looking at just the statistics more so than getting them in the back of the net. But even though, you know, Eve kept, I think it was 10 clean sheets throughout the season, it's more so when they do kind of let them in, it's kind of to their detriment, you know, and more so than what happened to Wexford at the weekend. When a few go in, it kind of just, the floodgates kind of open at that point. So yeah, I'm sure they'll be looking to improve on that maybe next season. And I thought as well, just to mention, obviously Sarah McKevitt had a brilliant opening season for them. Joy Ralph, Mia Dodd were great to watch this year too. So they'll be positive about their trajectory, I'd say, for next season. And in the same breath, I think the same goes for Sligo. You know, they shattered all the kind of expectations. Everyone I thought and predicted they'd finish bottom, and as you would coming into the league as a new team. But I thought Steve has been such a breath of fresh air for the league. And then the likes of Emma Hansbury, Leah Kelly, Lauren Bowles, and then the younger girls, Emma Doherty, Pixie O'Hara. So yeah, lots to come for them next season too.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, we have Shelbourne and Athlone Town to look forward to in Tallaght Stadium this Sunday. Just quickly before we finish up, Sean, I'll start with you. Who do you think is gonna win that one?
Yeah, I think it's very tight to call. You've obviously got Shells coming out the weekend on a high. There's obviously a bit of partying after the game on Saturday, so it's about how quickly they can recover. I'm sure now it'll have them in. I think they're training at 11 o'clock this morning. You know, so they'll be in and getting prepared for the weekend. I know there's a hunger there. You know, there's players the likes of maybe Abby Larkin who'll be itching to start in the game next week, and some players will want to get, you know, do the double, another trophy to add to the cabinet. But I think for Athlone, you know, the feeling of nearly having it at the weekend and then losing the league might be enough just to push them on. It's going to be a big pitch. They've got players like Roisin Malloy, Madison Gibson, Emily Corbett that I think, you know, are just so powerful in open pitches and when they have room to move. So I'm going to be diplomatic and say I'm not quite sure, but if you're going to push me on it, Emma, I think I'd probably go at Athlone just because I think they're going to be a bit more hungry after the weekend.
Right, and Alanna, what do you think?
It is actually a tough one to call. I agree with everything Seana said there. I mean, Alone are going to really want to push on now and cap off a brilliant season. But I think I'm going to go with Shells. Just interviewing a few of the girls before this final here, chatting to them. I think it really hurt them last year when they won the league and then lost the cup. You know, they're chatting to them, they were all kind of very, I suppose, raging, for want of a better word, that they didn't go on and do the double. So while Athlone have that hunger, and that'll be the dream, I guess. I think logically I'm going to go with Shells to do the double.